Welcome to Minister Ben with his Blast On podcast, uncut, unapologetic, straight with no chaser. Before we get started, I'd like you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Today, I got a good friend of mine that we've known each other. Y'all seen him on some of the shows and everything, but I want to talk to this brother exclusively. Can you introduce yourself to the viewing and listening audience? Go at it, my man. Let them know who you are.
Hey, you guys, my name is Rickey Lucas. Been knowing Mr. Ben for quite some time. I love what he do because he help promotes things that need to be promoted, and that's mainly what I'm looking for and what I'm doing right now. I just retired from my job, so I don't have a lot to get into. So I think I want to invest into getting knowledge out to people, especially the young generation. I wish somebody would have told me ahead of time and gave me a lead where I could have said, well, now that I'm young, because I was in my 30s, I was in my 30s,
Yeah.
and we just didn't have that kind of information that I would like to pass on, because a lot of the young generation now, they go to school, they finish school, they go to college, they get a career, and they need to know what's up ahead of them so they can plan for it.
Yeah, do you think that let me ask you this, do you think that because, like I say, we of a certain age, like I say, I'm an elder, of course, and do you think that there is a disconnect between the young and the elders? Is there a disconnect? And if there is a disconnect, why is it?
I, yeah, I do think it's a minor disconnect because of the way we come up. We came up in a different generation. They're coming up in their generation, so they have the same understanding about things they want to do versus what we was brought up to do.
Like
So I
what?
think we need to sit down and come to the table and be able to be open minded with each other and kind of see where they at, and then they can kind of feed off our experience.
How would we do something like that? Though? How would we do something to where um, we can relate to what they deal with? Um, Trauma is trauma, and we understand that, but the different sets of trauma is different. They deal with death and dying on a regular basis at the age of 9. If some at it me coming up at 9 and someone got cut with a knife, that was trauma to us.
Yeah,
That was
definitely,
traumatic,
definitely was.
because that didn't happen. So you dealing with a third grader who loses their best friend from gun violence. How do we how are we able to bridge that gap like that? What should we do? How can we help them in that regards on dealing with that?
Well, we one of the things I know, we got to be able to let them be able to see themselves, because just as much as we acknowledge what's going on, once they see what's going on, they're the ones that have to do the trend and turn from that way. I understand it's a trauma because right now in this society, the way what they teaches us is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they got to acknowledge where they at. Once I'm making a mission to what I see, what I understand, why do I understand it, then I stand a chance to see is it right or wrong. You know, I gotta come out of my corner and say, well, man, I this is happening. And even though we grew up I was raised in the '60s, so you know how the '60s was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We looked at certain things. Of some of the great leaders we had at the time, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King. A lot of this kids not getting that kind of education to build on. They're not getting that understanding based on the unity that we had as a people. Because when they first started the Panthers, their thing was to clean up the neighborhood and help the people help women bring their grocery home and stuff like that. How do we bring that back?
But let me say this, because I'm looking at the young people nowadays. They are so advanced as far as information and technology and everything else. We talked about Malcolm, and we talked about Malcolm X, and we talked about Martin Luther King and the Black Panther Party. Can you give me 5 things that Malcolm X accomplished? Give me 5 things that Malcolm X accomplished here in Black America. Could you give me 5 things that Martin Luther King accomplished in Black America? And can you give me 5 things that the Black Panther Party accomplished in Black America? Can you give me 5 of those things?
Well, one of the things
From Malcolm. Let's start with Malcolm. What 5 things did he do?
Malcolm brought strength.
Well, everybody, your father brings strength.
Well,
your family,
well,
your parents bring
well,
strength. Your
what I'm
brings
saying,
strength.
he brought strength
Like
as
what?
we as a people.
No,
We as a people, he helped us acknowledge that we don't have to let people just run over us and be led the way that we were brought into this country.
but people have been doing that all before
Well,
Malcolm. Before Malcolm.
But that's
They've
Mr.
been doing-
Ben. That's the same thing. You gotta have a starting point.
Okay, well, the Star Park came out of people's houses and their uncles and aunties, and they had strength. Some of the women had strength. So Malcolm, that's nothing. What Malcolm, that part, that wasn't nothing special to that. We should all have strength.
Well, it was special enough
Okay,
for
for who?
we as a people to acknowledge that we can come together. Rather if it didn't benefit with a lot of people, because I can imagine everybody had their own understanding. Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King.
Let's stay with Malcolm first. We got these 5 things you got to come up with. I ain't gonna let you get out there because you're talking like a politician, man. I ain't gonna let you. So okay. So let's
I don't see. I don't wanna throw in because I use them as examples.
Okay, but
I don't want us to think that we can't reach the goal that we as black people, for as young and old, can reach. I don't want us to miss that based on some of the misunderstanding that Malcolm X might have had.
okay, but we're gonna talk about Malcolm, the Black Panther Party, and Martin Luther King right now. And I said, what are the five accomplishments that Malcolm made in Black America? What was his 5 accomplishments that we can say right now this happened because of Malcolm?
Well, we can't even talk about did each one of them have any accomplishments, because what are we looking at today?
Okay, so then that's 0. So Malcolm's accomplishments was 0.
But one of the things I'm saying, can we look at a starting point? You can't build something without something that you acknowledge. You got to feed off of something.
But
even if they don't have the 5 things that we might want to bring to the floor, we still need some kind of starting point.
So why would we even use them as examples? Because it's easy to say them. It's easy to say Martin Luther King and Malcolm as like, okay, because it's just something to say. But do people actually look and see what they accomplished? Do you actually see what they did? Did it affect anybody right now? Did it make people better?
No,
did it make a group of it? No.
I have to agree with you on that. And maybe that wasn't the right example.
Yeah, but you see, you see, the reason why I'm saying is, do they have their good points on what they're trying to accomplish? Yes, I give them that because they tried. But we're talking about accomplishments. See, if I say Michael Jordan, what did he accomplish? You'll say he accomplished 6 championships. You can see that. Yeah. You can feel that. He did that. When you say one of the 5 accomplishments of Malcolm or the 5 Panther Party, we can't do that. We can't do that. So I'm just saying we're using these names as cliches. So Rick, I was going to get it. I could go in.
What I really wanted to just bring an example of whatever we got going on now,
Yeah.
we need what you call, what I would say, unity.
That's right.
And
That's
see,
right.
and my question to even to me right now,
Mm-hmm.
how do I bring unity? How do I exemplify
Right.
unity when it comes
Yes.
to even and
Yes.
like you say,
Yeah, yeah,
I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
Everybody that I did name, you know, they probably had the same kind of concept in the beginning.
Sure.
This probably was their goal. They say, well, we're gonna do this and get to this.
Right.
But as we all know through history, that didn't happen.
Sure. Sure.
Based on, you know.
Yeah, but the circumstances they were
Yeah.
in, yeah. You know, Rick, we talk about this a lot about the senior citizens,
Yeah.
about our passion with them and what goes on because we're seniors now, and there's a lot of things. I'm gonna ask you a question, and I posed this question to a few people, and I was looking at, because I live in a senior facility. I live in a senior building, so I'm around seniors 24/7. But also, the gym that I belong to, I work out at. There's a lot of seniors there,
Yeah.
and they're there regularly working out, you know, exercising. You know how they do it at the facilities.
Oh, yeah.
They are in there for real. But I found a difference in the demeanor of those that exercise and are doing things and those that don't. Do you see a difference between the two groups? The ones that do and the ones that don't?
Yes, I do.
And what do you think the reason why that is?
Yes, I do. And I don't know, when it coming from where I go, Croc Center,
Yeah.
and coming to the building where I still can't understand why we don't be active, even if you're not exercising, a social life
Yes.
help enhance and bring life to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But a lot of the seniors, when it's for some reason, I'm trying to put my finger on it, when they get inside these buildings, because you got to remember, they raise their kids, they raise their kids, they
Right.
work their job,
Right.
they retired,
Right.
the kids are grown,
Yeah.
you know, now the kids got their life,
Right.
you know, and they fall into this pattern of isolation, and it don't even. It don't need you probably, if you walk in one of these seniors' apartments, you probably would say, oh no, they all right, but mentally they're not all right.
They're not all right because you know that actually that you can slip into a deep depression because those walls are closed in, and you in a 4x10.
Yeah.
You in a 4x10 and you free, but you're in a 4x10 mentally, and they just sit there and wait to die.
Right. And you don't have, like when we go, when we hang out at the Croc Center,
Yeah.
you don't have that kind of conversation that we have.
Exactly.
Because we be talking, if you put something over us, you probably would think we a bunch of young group of people just talking about success in life.
Right.
You know, but the senior buildings that I go through, you see,
No.
you see, I mean, big pretty community rooms,
Yeah.
but nobody, everybody is more drawn to their apartment. And when I moved in, which was about a year and a half ago,
Mm-hmm.
I never thought it would be like that. I had no idea.
Because you came out of the environment at the Croc Center,
Yeah.
where all the seniors are moving, thinking quick, moving. I mean, processing things, talking, exercising, going from this class to this class, working out, diligent, and they're there on a regular basis. They're bright. Their brains are thinking. Their brains are bright. They're looking better in life. Where when you isolate it and don't do nothing,
Right.
and stay in your building and do stuff like that, now you are just sitting up there. You're miserable.
Yeah.
You know, you're depressed, and you don't like your neighbor.
Right.
And everything else. You can't stand that one, you can't stand this one. When you vibrate and you're doing things, you ain't got time to think about anybody else stuff that they own.
Right.
And that's something that you know, I mean, you talked about
Right.
trying to create things
Yeah.
so that that people can be involved.
And it's amazing because me and you we stay connected with each other, and if something happening, you inform me about it. If something happened, I inform you about it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that, like I told you, I done started this. I'm a part of this committee in the senior building I'm involved with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's summertime. Like I say, this is my first year there.
Yeah.
And it's summertime coming up. So there are some events coming up, like the Obama Museum.
Right. Yeah.
They got a free day for seniors.
Oh. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And see, this is gonna calculate and give me because when I get the staff to put it out there, because the staff is ready to help us get to that. They even want to rent a bus.
Mm-hmm.
But Minister Ben, I done been there where they done rented brand new buses and people don't want to go.
They don't want to go. They don't want to go. And it's a serious thing. And the thing is that you have like Mother's Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mother's Day tomorrow. Mother's Day 2026. And you got some people that's in here that, of course, they don't have their mothers no more. And they got children that won't come see their mother.
Yeah.
And that depression is enough to take you out of here. In fact, like I was telling you about my good friend Marvin Newton. We went to his funeral yesterday. And when I spoke to him, I kept telling him, "Why don't you come up, man, and exercise? Come up back to the."
How powerful in advance that the seniors have, because I'm a senior.
Right.
And I consider myself a young senior.
Mm.
But I have to be around active seniors to the compassion the compassion I have to be around active seniors to really kick it off. Because it's I mean, I don't think I lose the compassion,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes when I go out, it might be just me. Like, example, I don't want to start it going to the computer class.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got seniors coming and going to computer class.
Sure.
Because of the fear of I might not know.
Right.
I don't even know how to handle my phone too tough, and I don't want to let people know that I don't know how to handle my phone.
Yeah.
I have to sometimes when my child called me, I have to have them to come over and do these things for me. And seniors talk about it.
Yeah.
If you can get up under there, they'll share with you. Yeah, I'm ashamed. I don't know how to do.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to turn a computer on.
Yeah. Rick, I want to commend you and your brother. He's not on camera. He's shy. But one day we'll get him on camera. What's your brother's name?
D'Angelo.
D'Angelo. Now, if the viewers always can see D'Angelo and Rick, they dressed. I'm talking about, man, these dudes. I'm talking about playing for real, for real. These dudes, Mac buddies for real. But anyway, here's the thing, without all of that, they just came from supporting a young person getting their bachelor's degree.
Yes.
They just came from there. And that is what's seen, and that's what's noted. And I want to commend y'all for doing that, because all too many times they want to talk about black men don't support nobody.
Yeah.
And I want to kill that misnomer and then we have a young black man that's running this camera right now.
Right.
So I want to kill that misnomer about black men, young black men, and senior black men. We down about our business on all 10 toes down. And that's what I love about that. Another thing, I'm gonna ask you a question. What is your purpose in life?
My purpose, far as I know, to do as much good as I can while I'm on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean about do as much good, be an example based on the good that can come out of being a elder man because I had my experience. When I was young, I misused a lot of the opportunities that I had.
Okay.
Because I had that conception that I knew. And the older generation older guys would tell me things. Hey, young blood, you gonna get old one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how many times I heard that and I didn't pay attention to it.
I heard it too, but I just, here it is. Here it is. Like damn.
Right.
Like damn.
And even my daughter 31 years old.
Hmm.
You know, me and her can have
Give a shout out to your daughter.
yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
Me and her can have a general conversation and we talk. I'm talking about I can go to my daughter and say, look, I need you to what do you think about this? Like I was telling about I was going to do this here,
Hmm.
you know, and I say, what do you think about that? She said, I think it's a good thing. You know,
Hmm.
it's a real good thing that at your age and you moving around and you seeing things that we haven't seen yet.
That's right.
And she's an intelligent young lady.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
What's her name?
Ariel.
You wait. You almost forgot your daughter's
No,
name,
I
man.
ain't.
That old lady started creeping in.
Minister Ben, you cut me off guard.
Oh, okay, that's you right there.
Mr. Ben, you know I gotta watch you with the questions, Dad.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
sit with you long enough to
You
know
how
how
we-
to be careful.
You know how we
with
do.
you.
You know how we do. You know, hey man, man, it is a pleasure, man. Rick, I need to talk to the brother one on one so that people can see you, hear you. I wanted you to have this exclusive interview, man.
Thank you.
I value what you bring to the table. You have so much knowledge and wisdom, and then you get out and take care of your business too, man. And I appreciate that, man. I really do. I appreciate that wholeheartedly. We got some other things going on, have some other projects. We're gonna touch bases on what's going on here and there. Invite me over to some of you guys' meetings and everything. I'll be more than happy to come and sit down and maybe we can, encourage some things and have things go back and forth with our building and your building and let it spread out throughout because
Right.
senior citizens are viable and they're about business and everything else. So let's see if we can get
Because
that
one
done.
of the things that and before we close out, one of the things that I got on my agenda is to start a senior cookout
Okay.
once a year
Okay.
with all senior buildings in our district.
Okay.
You know, like we do the senior thing we do every year.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
our downtown.
Yeah.
So getting together with other seniors and talking about this, putting it on the table.
Mhm.
Maybe we can pull it off. Maybe a year or two from now, we can get a lot of people involved. Get in touch with our aldermen in our community because we're a powerful group of people,
Sure.
and I don't think a lot of us understand that.
Oh, very powerful. Very powerful. Very powerful. Well, Rick, you want anything any shout out to anybody before we close or
I want to get a shout out to my baby sister because I did tell her too that I was going
okay.
to do
And
this.
her name?
And Joyce Lowe.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to her, and I want to give a shout out to my daughter.
Excellent, man.
Yeah.
Man, Rick, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure, man, seeing you again and talking with you. And this is Minister Ben with his Blast Off podcast, uncut, unapologetic, straight with no chaser. Thank y'all and see y'all soon.